So for this video I'm going to be covering some more changes to Bully's map. Now the first place I'm going to be showcasing is the boys dorm. I did a video on this a while back, but I'm just going to be covering some things I didn't cover in that video. The first change is more of a feature change than a map change, but this change is actually a rather minor one. But at 11 PM the boys dorm doors would actually be locked, so Jimmy would have to actually sneak around the back and use this dumpster to get access to the boys dorm. So what Jimmy would do is have to hop on the dumpster and then open the window to get in, similar to how he sort of gets into the school through the back in The Diary for Beatrice. The second one is actually a major change. The boys dorm originally had 2 floors. This I covered in my beta boys dorm video. Like as you can see on the radar, you can actually see the leftover radar. All that's left over for the beta boys dorm is a pre-release screenshot and a deleted cutscene file, which can only be heard in the ambient sound files for Bully, which I'll play now.
You can't stand you already. Jimmy, if you want to hang out, we'll be in the dorm downstairs.
Now I'm going to show you just like the rooms that Jimmy can't actually access. They're surprisingly detailed for like the fact Jimmy can't actually enter them. So it's unknown like why Jimmy actually can't enter any rooms in the boys dorm either, since he can actually enter the girls dorm rooms perfectly fine. I have a feeling this was done like for spawning issues, since the only time you actually see people spawn in the boys dorm is when they're actually coming out their dorm room. But it's still actually kind of interesting to actually see inside these rooms, even if you can't actually get access to them. Like as you saw, like if Jimmy enters them somehow, he'll get instantly teleported back to his own room. He won't get knocked out, he'll just get instantly teleported. This next change is another minor change. On the exterior of the academy, outside the library, you can see like the exterior here sort of curves. But however, when you actually enter the inside of the academy, you'll see there is no curve. There's also no windows on there aside from these two. Now this one is probably an oversight, but if you come up to the music classroom and look on the outside of it, it says home economics and not music. Like I said, this one is most likely an oversight and not like a beta feature. Originally, Dr. Crabblesnitch's office was going to be enterable in free mode. This door here, what you can see, is actually Dr. Crabblesnitch's office. You probably knew that, but like in a very early pre-release screenshot that featured Miss Danvers, you can actually see the door was originally open. It's unknown why it was removed, but you can still access Dr. Crabblesnitch's office with mods, such as Deadpool XYZ's teleport mod. I mentioned this very briefly in my last beta map video, but originally the roof would actually be accessible in free mode, like after you beat Gary. Now the roof actually isn't rendered at all in free mode normally, except for the few planks of wood Jimmy has to walk across in Final Showdown, like as you can see. The rest of the roof is not solid. As you can see, there's absolutely no roof at all, because the player obviously isn't supposed to get up here. Now, as I mentioned in my last beta video as well, the elevator in the basement would actually be the elevator Jimmy took to get access to the roof. And also, if like you jump down here, you'll just get instantly knocked out anyway.
Let's try that again.
Next up, I think this is actually the beta area for the jocks. I believe this is actually the beta entrance or exit of the jocks area. See, this was the very first screenshot of Bully ever produced, I believe. And as you can see, quite a bit has actually changed. Another very minor change, but the lights on these pillars were actually replaced with gargoyles, as seen in this very early pre-release screenshot. The new Coventry police station was actually supposed to be at the pizza parlor, as mentioned by Cornelius in the Mission Wrong part of town. The only thing that remains of this is a leftover audio file. That's basically a restaurant ambient file, and of course the fact the police station is advertising Beam Cola at the top of it. Of course it could also be this place as well, but either way, one of those two buildings was supposed to be the pizza parlor. In Blue Skies, I believe I may have found a possible beta area for the rubber band you'd actually find here. I say this because if you use the no-clip mod and get higher than this roof, you'll see that there's actually a little walkway here, alongside a little entrance. Of course, if you somehow get in here, you'll actually see that it's all rendered pretty well. There's no collision, but it's all rendered pretty well. Now, I believe this is where you'd actually find the rubber band. But of course, it's got no collision, so if you disable no clip, you'll just fall through the ground and get knocked out instantly. Now, the last area I'm going to cover in this video is actually the Spaz Industries building roof. If you run up this ramp here, and go past the second door, you'll see a fence with a ramp behind it. Now obviously you're not supposed to get up this ramp, but if you use a no-clip mod and go onto the roof, you'll find it's actually solid. However, the walkways are not solid. Like as you can see, I'm just shooting stuff through and it's just going through it because there's no actual collision. So like if Jimmy just runs through, he'll just fall through the ground. However, the roofs are solid. Like as you can see, I could just jump onto this roof perfectly fine. Now if you use the no-clip mod to get access to the other side of the roof, you'll see that this roof here is also solid, with an actual functioning door. Now the button to the door is glitchy, like as you can see I just went through the wall. Other times Jimmy will fall through the ground and come back up again. But the door surprisingly works. And you can actually enter here as you would with any other normal room. I believe this might have been a beta area for the rubber band you find in the room, well, in the room closest to that ramp, if that makes sense. Now I said that was the last area I'm going to cover. That's because there's actually 1 or 2 data files that I'd like to show you that actually have a very interesting area name. And these areas are not seen or heard anywhere in game. They appear to be like beta areas that were scrapped entirely from the game. At least I believe so anyway. To get access to these files, you need to go to your Bully Scholarship Edition folder. If you have the Steam version, you can right click Bully, go to Properties and click Browse Local Files. Go to Config and then go to Dat and open up areabox.dat with Notepad. Notice at the top it says anything 0 date is not currently in game. And if we look below, we can actually see there is a file that says Island 3. That's just 000000. Notice how it also says outdoor next to it as well. There's also this file here that says everything, but I believe that could just be a test file. Now if we go to this one here, exitlock.dat, we can see there's also a leftover string for Island 3 as well. Go all the way to the bottom, we can see Island 3, once again 000, but it says business area. Now business area is actually the in-game code name for Old Bullworth Vale. So this means this Island 3 could actually mean that it was supposed to be near Old Bullworth Vale. Now I know some of you might be saying it could just be the beach area in the game, but the thing is it's got no coordinates, and it even says in the first file that anything 0 date is not currently in game. I've had to make a very minor edit because I hit render and I realised that in the notepad file it says bathroom 3rd floor in the school hallways as well. This pretty much confirms that Bullworth Academy was supposed to have 3 floors. I mentioned it in my last video, it's obvious on the exterior, but that file name pretty much confirms it. You know, like, there's the evidence, at least it's somewhat been proven. And that's all for this video, and thank you for watching.